China, an important contribution to today's society. Since the early 1970s, China has played an important role in our world's economy. By the mid-2000s, China had become the second largest economy by the GDP. In 2010, China became the world's largest exporter. China's economy grew at an average of 10% per year during the periods of 1990 to 2004 and continues to this day. If such growth rates persist, in about 10 years, China will be equal to the USA by any types of GDP measure. China's GDP at official exchange rate was around $5.9 trillion by the end of 2010. However, the purchasing power parity GDP, which is also measured in US dollars, was different. After increasing 9.6% from 2007, it was at $8.4 trillion US dollars by 2009. After increasing 9.2% in 2009, it stayed at 9.1 trillion US dollars. After an astonishing 10.3% growth in 2010, it was at an all-time high at 10.1 trillion US dollars. China participates largely in agricultural products. In fact, it is the world leader in the value of agricultural output. Some examples are rice, wheat, potatoes, tea, and fish. It is also the world leader in the value of industrial output. Some examples are mining, textiles, apparel, petroleum, vehicles, and satellites. These products helped China achieve a 15.8% industrial production growth rate in 2010. China participates greatly in both imports and export. The export growth has not sufficiently changed, as it changed from 1.2 trillion in 2009 to $1.6 trillion in 2010. Such exports include electrical machinery, apparels, textiles, optical, and medical equipment. China's top three main export partners are US at 18%, Hong Kong at 13.8%, and Japan at 7.6%. The imports, however, have greatly increased from $954 billion in 2009 to $1.3 trillion in 2010. Such imports include oil and minerals, optical and medical equipment, plastics, organic, and chemicals. China's top three main import partners are Japan at 12.6%, South Korea at 9.9%, and the US at 7.3%. China was strongly linked to the US dollar for many years, and on July 2005 revalued and gained 2.1%. From 2005 to 2008, the currency grew 20% in relation to the US dollar. Such changes helped the GDP of China increase by nearly 10 times since the 1980s. China surpassed Japan in 2001 and stands directly behind the US as the second largest economy in the world. China produces a big portion of the world's power with 3.5 trillion kilowatts as estimated in 2009. However, this is the exact same amount of electricity China consumes. It exports 17.4 billion kilowatts and imports 11.4 kilowatts. China does not have a large oil supply, although it has a 20.4 billion BBL proven reserve. It produces 4.3 million BBL per day, although consumes 9.2 million BBL per day. Hence, the export is low and the import is 4.8 million BBL per day. China has a relatively small debt, with a small increase percentage, as it is stated at $428 billion in 2010 and went up to $579 billion in 2011. China also faces a few issues, including reducing its high domestic savings rate and corresponding low domestic demand, sustaining adequate job growth for tens of millions of immigrants and new entrants to the workforce, reducing corruption and other economic crimes, and containing environmental damage and social strife related to the economy's rapid transformation. It also faces high amounts of air pollution, soil erosion, and many more ecological issues. Since the one-child policy is in effect, China is the most rapidly aging country in the world. China's rapid growth over the last decades caused a lot of discussion among politicians and media. Most people do not believe China can maintain such an astounding economy for a long time. Simon Murray, a British businessman, commented on China's success in an interview with Russian television. Secret of China's success is nothing unique. The country is just coming through cycles Europe has long passed in previous eras, he noted. China is a manufacturing country. Manufacturing really leads to prosperity, and the Western world has swung away from manufacturing into service needs, Murray said. He added that after China passes its equivalent of industrial revolution, it might move its factories offshore just like the West now. He also added, there is also nothing unique in the so-called Asian values of hard labor, the British businessman noted. They are exactly the same as the Victorian England, with 15-16-year-olds working in coal mines. Looking aside from the negative comments, China has a strong future. China is making changes to its ways and has many plans. The Fifth Plennium in October 2005 approved the 11th Five-Year Economic Program 2006 through 2010, aimed at building a harmonious society through more balanced wealth distribution and improved educational, medical care, and social security. On March 2006, the National People's Congress approved the 11th Five-Year Program. The plan called for a relative conservative 45% increase in GDP and a 20% reduction in energy intensity. The government vows in the 12th Five-Year Plan adopted on March 2011 to continue reforming the economy and emphasize the need to increase domestic consumption in order to make the economy less dependent on exports for GDP growth in the future. China could become the world's largest economy by nominal GDP sometime as early as 2020.